Welcome back everybody to episode 30 of our F1 Manager 22 career mode, role-playing as Dario Franchitti, being the boss of AlphaTauri. Got a very short turnaround today from last episode at the Spanish Grand Prix as we head off to Monaco. Only 4 days. So there is not a whole lot of time to do anything really. We've got no upgrades, and yeah, I think we'll just head straight into Monaco. So I will see you at the track.
Cars have been racing through Monaco streets since 1929, and this weekend is no exception, as we get to watch the new generation of world-class drivers take over Monte Carlo. This is the Monaco Grand Prix. Monaco is famous for its many narrow twists and corners, from the brake-heavy Le Rascasse to the treacherous Sand of Ott. There are no proper straights to speak of, and it's extremely hard to overtake here. It sounds like simple advice, but getting up as high on that starting grid as possible is the best plan of attack. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. The competition is on.
So it looks like we're going to be in for a wet Saturday. Whether that will be in practice 3 or qualifying, we'll have to wait and find out. Not too sure what to expect around here. I know we've got pretty good low downforce. I think we were the 3rd or 4th best car, which of course is exactly what you need around Monaco. We don't have top end speed, but around here you don't need it. So we might be on course for a good weekend. We've been pretty good everywhere other than Jeddah, the high speed track, which did not really suit us, but everywhere else we've been pretty good, so hopefully that trend will continue. I don't know if other teams will have brought upgrades here. As I said, it was a very short turnaround, so they might not have had time, hopefully, but we'll find out, I guess. So I will catch you after practice.
It's green now.
There's been a crash. Sounds like a single car. Let's take a look at the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren. Dear me, they won't have been expecting that. Our race weekend continues as we head into FP3 and then qualifying. Ahead of the race tomorrow, the teams will be putting their practice data to use and making sure that their drivers have the very best chance of setting a lap time that will edge out the competition in qualifying. Drivers may know a track inside and out, but unless they have the setup to complement their ability, their efforts may be for nothing. Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
Right, so that's all 3 practice sessions done and dusted with. And we had a pretty good 3 sessions for us. We were fastest pretty much everywhere. We didn't actually end up pushing in practice 3. The only thing we were trying to figure out is how much time difference there would be between going aggressive or orange on the tires versus standard with the yellows. And we were on the softs when we did that, and it looks like you can probably go about 4/10 quicker over the course of a lap. I'm basically seeing whether the mediums or the hards would be more beneficial for us for the race. The tyre drop-off is basically half a second per compound. So the mediums is half a second slower than the softs and half a second quicker than the hards, which is why I wanted to see how much pushing you could get away with in terms of, if you push on the hards, do you match the mediums on standard? And it seems it's pretty close. No rain, so I presume that means we'll get it in qualifying. So I will catch you at the end of qualifying 1. Alright, end of Q1, and we had a bit of a scare. Actually, Pierre got blocked pretty bad by Verstappen on his first lap, and was actually in the drop zone. And since we usually go out reasonably late, I wasn't sure if he'd get a second run in, but he just managed it, crossing the line I think with like 2 seconds before the end of the session, so just squeaked it through and made it into Q2, which is very nice for us. I would not have liked this of all races to be the one that we screwed up qualifying. Max is fastest there on a 10 flat, so Perez just behind him, then a 10th back to Charles, another 10th back to back to Carlos, and Pierre is with him. Then it's a couple tenths back to Lewis and Daniel, and Valtteri and Fernando. So the 5 who missed out, as you would expect, both Williams, Latifi in the Haas, Tsunoda in the McLaren, and Albon in the Aston Martin. K-Mag's doing a pretty good job there in P11, less than a tenth behind George in the Merc, and a couple tenths clear of Ocon in the Alpine. We'll see what qualifying 2 brings. Hopefully we can get both our boys through for the top 10 shootout. I'll catch you at the end of it. So an interesting Q2, started off wet and almost dried up right at the end there. As you can see, we're about 4 seconds clear, as we were the only team to decide to risk it on the slick tyre at the end. Everybody else was on the inters, and I think everybody else went slower than what they did earlier on in the session when there was a bit more water around. So we just did the 1 run safely through. The guys missing out, Ocon in the Alpine, Sainz in the Ferrari, not going to be impressed with that. Guan Yu in the Aston Martin, Norris in the McLaren, and Bottas in the Alfa Romeo. He's not going to be happy with that either. But Kevin Magnussen makes it through by 2.5 tenths. So Haas will be very happy with that. And so far it's looking pretty good for us. Now the weather did say heavy rain. There was not heavy rain in qualifying 2. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a deluge in Q3. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. I'll catch you at the end of it. Okay, end of Q3, and it's a Red Bull lockout for the front row. Perez managed to pull it off right at the end there. He was last man out in the first run, and I honestly didn't think he'd get the chance to do a second lap, but he managed to do it and ended up about 3 tenths clear of the field, despite having a slower first sector. Pierre and Daniel improved on their final run. Pierre getting real close to Max there. At that time I thought that was going to be the front row, but Perez pulled out some magic there, and we'll start from P1. We're in pretty good spot, 3rd and 4th. Got a bit of a gap, 1/10 of a second to Lewis. So we'll see what the race brings. I'm thinking it's going to be a 1 stop, starting on the softs and then going to the mediums, or if there's a reasonably early safety car or something like that, then going to the hards and taking them all the way. But overall, pretty happy with how that session went. and I'll catch you for the race.
The grid is packed and there's electricity in the air, but there's no surprises in that. It's race day.
Qualifying turns squarely to AlphaTauri's advantage this weekend. They're in an excellent position to do brilliantly here during the race. It was a pleasure to watch Red Bull's excellent performance during qualifying. Their drivers will now be looking ahead to the race itself and hoping to capitalize. And the weather is sunny here today, apart from a few clouds. Let's hope they remain scattered on the horizon.
And you can't get much more excitement than this on race day. It's the Monaco Grand Prix.
Alright, so I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to start on the soft compound tyre. Going to have a couple more laps worth of fuel on board. We'll be able to burn that at some stage. We're going to go aggressive at the start, ERS on full deployment, and we're going to hope that we can jump the Red Bulls.
I don't want to tempt fate, but there are quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. There we have Pierre Gasly. Starting in third place, they're in a really good position for this race. And behind them, it's Ricciardo. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. And we're just moments away now. It's time for one of the most exciting races in the world. This is the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
We're going aggressive. Hold position. See a lot of soft tyres. Verstappen's on mediums. So we'll need to get around him. We'll put him on overtake. We'll put both of them on overtake actually. Since we're going to need to get around Max. If we can. Oops, I don't want tyres, I want interval, there we go. Oh, and the other thing that I've done, as you can see, we now have a black Mercedes. I will put the link to the race department mod that I'm using for that. But yeah, we figured we may mix it up a bit and we'll try and do that, eh? I think Pierre got around him, he has. Okay. So now we're going to save the tyre for Pierre.
Yeah, take it easy.
AlphaTauri gained a place.
So now we'll watch Ricciardo, see if he can do the same thing with Max. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go deploy, I think, for him.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
And there goes Ricciardo, so now we'll go deploy for him as well and go on standard.
So use energy.
We'll stay with Checo. Or Pierre will stay with Checo.
That's it.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri.
Okay, so now we just need to pull away from Max and see what we can do. I think I will utilize some of the engine, I think, right now. So let's see what we can do if we push a little bit. I mean, we had, what, 2 extra kilos, right? So both us and the Red Bulls are in range to be able to double stack if need be. I think I'm going to go back to normal for Ricciardo there. We're coming up to that. We'll go the same for Pierre now as well. Coming up to the traffic. So this race has gone a lot better so far than last season's did for us. Who else is on mediums? Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, Russell, K-Mag, Ocon. Okay, so Leclerc got around K-Mag. We aren't pitting probably for another 10 laps. It says the tires can make it to lap 38, I think the softs said. And then the mediums can go 48 laps. So if we can get to around lap 33, 32, somewhere in that order, we should be fine. He's in now. What is he going to? Oh, he got in front of him. What is he on? He's on a set of the hards. We're going to see what we can do here. The gap is 9 seconds. We need to keep going for another little bit though. That's the problem.
The balance is so understeer. Can you help me?
Nah, Perez is really closing up, eh? Alright, so I think we're going to box this time by for both of them. And I think we're just going to have to go onto the hards. But we should be able to push these tires a bit. In comes Pierre, 2.6, not too shabby. And 2.6 for Ricciardo as well, nice. Is going to come out behind K-Mag, but in front of Ocon. Okay. So we are going to go aggressive on the tires here.
We can push more.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll keep it on that. Aggressive and go for it. He's got 3 seconds to catch up to Russell, and Ricciardo's got 8 to catch up to K-Mag. So we'll do this until probably lap 34. And we'll see where we go from there, eh? Or maybe not, because he's right with him. Yeah, he's already with him. Okay, so we'll go back to standard and balanced. We'll go standard. Actually, no, we won't. We'll keep pushing with Ricciardo, at least for a little bit. Virtual safety car. Okay, so we need to save some energy here. We'll save the engine, and we will save a little bit of tire, I think, while we can. Okay, Verstappen is in. Ignore.
We've had a crash.
Okay, so he's got out in front of Max. So that's good. And I missed the crash. I'm paying too much attention to that. I don't even know who it was.
Red Bull gained a place.
How did he
Let's
do
see
that?
what happened there. Now here we see Max Verstappen. Moving up a place there.
Wow, okay.
Excellent work from him. That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see.
Nice move by Max there. But that's fine. We'll go aggressive on the tyre then. Screw it.
Happy to push.
Need to make sure we keep up with him.
Understood.
Try and save as much ERS as we can, I guess. Maybe have a go at Max later on. Yeah, it looks like the tyres are gonna last. Sector 1.
Sounds like there's been a crash. Here's the replay. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Teammates. Oh,
And there we see the crash.
I think he's alright. Pierre is managing to hold station really between 10 and 11 seconds to Verstappen. And Ricciardo's got 2.5 over Lewis. Okay, we're gonna have to switch this back again, aren't we? Okay, how good are the tyres now? They're dropping off a bit, hey? I wonder if we should. You know what? Let's try it. Let's go full on aggression on the tires and see if we can pit again. I'm thinking about lap like 60. And then go on a set of the softs and push real hard is my plan. I think we're gonna say overtake for him. Do another couple laps. Okay, I think we'll box this time for both of them. Gonna use our last brand new set here. And we're gonna go aggressive to the end. So we should come out in front of George still. He'll probably be P3. In front of Hamilton and Fernando. And then it's a question of, are we going to be able to chase down the Red Bulls? 2.7, not terrible.
Okay, tangle pit lane. Copy. Just pit limiter, just a reminder on pit limiter.
2.6. So yeah, there goes Fernando. He'll get in front of George pretty easily. Okay, so we're going to keep it on overtake here, and we're just going to push. See what we can do. We've got 2 compound softer tyres. Gets around Joe. And now he has... Okay, we're going to go overtake if we can.
Yep,
Manage it.
Yep, yeah, understood.
He needed to pull that off.
That's it.
Good job, Danny Rec.
It's all okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed. Okay.
And now we're going to go back to Pierre. He looks like he's going to get to Verstappen. And Ricciardo will probably get to Lewis. Okay, so we're going to
use overtake.
go full bore here. Pierre gets around him.
Your P2 currently.
Okay. All good.
Safe fuel, safe fuel.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Ricciardo, who should get around Lewis. So we're not going to lose anything. We're still going to be 2nd and 4th from the looks of things, huh? We'll just be further back. So I'm not overly concerned about that. Okay, so Lewis is on the
Rears are hot.
hard compound. We're going to go overtake and push for Daniel. And hopefully he can get around him here. And he's right on the back of the Merc. Not managed it yet. We'll keep it on overtake. Oh,
Okay, understood.
nice move, Danny Rick. Okay, back to balanced. We got 2 laps to go. Everything's looking fine. The gap's down to 15 seconds. Ricciardo's narrowed it to 8. So Red Bull will gain some points on us. I wasn't predicting a Perez win. Oh, that's fine. How's his tyres looking? 38%. So he was able to make him last. Perez starts his last lap. Gap's under 14 and under 7, but yeah, so Pierre managed to pull out 15 seconds
Last lap.
on Max. It's pretty crazy. Ricciardo's going to stay where he was, P4. And it's just Gasly who jumped Max. And that's going to be all she wrote. Ricciardo has pulled 15 seconds on Lewis as well. So I think pace-wise we're pretty close with Red Bull. It's just going to be the track, I think, that is going to suit either them or us. This one seemed to suit them a bit better. And Sergio Perez is going to claim the Monaco Grand Prix. Good job, buddy. And he takes the win. Pierre finishes P2. Max will finish P3.
Good job. When you stop, it will be P1. Wait 5 seconds.
So Pierre was 12.5 seconds behind. And basically 16 clear of Max. And Danny Rick just over 5 seconds behind Max. So
Check it flag.
the pit stop worked, I think.
Alrighty. Cheers, guys.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Take all the pickup on the way in. Well done. Take all the pickup you can. All the pickup you can.
I'm pretty happy with that race. I would love to get another win, but hey, can't have everything. We do have upgrades coming. But I do wonder if Red Bull were able to put an upgrade on this thing, particularly on Perez's car, because he was a rapid this weekend. It's not every day that Verstappen's teammate beats him by basically 30 seconds, doing the same strategy.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. Everyone involved in Formula One dreams of seeing their driver up there on the podium. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here. Today's competitors gave it their all, but it's going to be those three taking home the big points. This was well deserved for AlphaTauri. A solid weekend of racing.
They do say success breeds success, and I'm sure the team will be hoping that holds true.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
Next time, the teams will be racing through the streets of another city. Join us in Baku on the shores of the Caspian Sea for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Okay, so there are your results for the Monaco Grand Prix. Perez, Gasly, Verstappen, your podium. Ricciardo, Lewis, and Fernando round out your point scorers. Pierre nicked fastest lap there, courtesy of being on the soft compound tyre on low fuel. And yeah, as we said, he narrowed the gap down to 12.5 seconds, which is closer than what he was prior to the stop, so I guess in that situation it worked. Ricciardo was able to get around both Fernando and Lewis to get back up to 4th, whereas Pierre only had to get around Verstappen, so good job for both of those guys to get back to where they were, and making me look okay. Obviously if we had finished lower than when we pitted, it would have been egg on the face, but pretty happy with that overall. Sainz, first man out of the points, followed by Russell, Bottas and Leclerc, rounds out the top 10. Then you got Magnussen dropping 3 spots down to 11th, Ocon in the other Alpine P12, Vettel 13th, Guan Yu 14th, Lando first McLaren home in P15, Albon in the other Aston 16th, Yuki the second McLaren in P17, Latifi up a spot to P18 in the Haas, and then the two Williams boys 19th and 20th, with Lance beating Mick. Drivers' Championship looks like that. Pierre extends his lead by 2 points over Max, now has an 8-point gap. Verstappen pulled out a point on Ricciardo, 6 points there. Perez makes a big leap up the points there to be within 2 of Charles. And that's pretty much it. The only movement looks to be Bottas jumps past Ocon, and that's it. Constructors wise, Red Bull gained 5 points on us. The gap is 17 points. We can take the next race off and still be leading the Constructors' Championship. Nice. Mercedes close a couple points down on Ferrari, but are still 14 behind, and Alpine pick up a point to pull further away from the rest of the grid. We gain just under 2 mil for our efforts around the Principality. Not too shabby. Gonna have our research on our side pods done soon, but I think that's not enough time to get our rear wing done. I think we got, I want to say a week after that. I think it's here. Yeah, there you go. So our design for the rear wing will be ready for Canada, but not Baku, unfortunately. Liam Lawson has a couple of development points we'll be able to put into him. So does Pierre Gasly, actually. He's got 1. Michael Loom, the race reporter there, saying that Perez won the race. Finished ahead of Pierre and Max. Qualified on pole and led. So that's pretty much it for Sergio. Good job, buddy. Our board is still real happy with us. Exceeded expectations. And I think we have achieved our long-term objective. 6 podiums, which we've done in 7 races. So we got Baku coming up in the next episode. So join us for that. But that is going to be it, I think, for this one. And we'll be back next time, where we'll figure out what exactly to put the development points to use for both Pierre and Liam Lawson. Catch you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked the video, you can hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave a comment, go right ahead. This is Mystic Tez signing off. See you later.